we're going to begin with the history of this song, which is just so cool. So you can sit back for a second before we get learning. It's great to see everybody. Really great. So this song, Black and White Rag, was written in 1908. During the early ragtime era, it was written by George Batsford. And this was the third ragtime composition to be a million seller. It was the first known recording of it that we're able to find now is from 1911 on a wax cylinder. And when I played at the Library of Congress, they took us through the tour of all the wax cylinders that they had, recordings they have there. And I had never seen one, so that was quite cool to see that. Edison featured this song in his Diamond Disc Records series. And so if you are an audiophile and obsessed with audio, check out the Edison Diamond Disc Records. They're really a special series, and Black and White Rag was one of the big songs featured on that, which kept it being popular through the 1920s. Then it kind of faded as jazz became more and more popular. You didn't hear as much of the ragtime type stuff, but in 1941, piano players started really picking this up. Art Tatum was one of the great piano players who was bringing back this left hand ragtime action, which I'm going to show you some video of in a second. But in 1941, several pianists made this popular, bringing it back to the forefront of pop music. But in 1952, it was the B-side of an internationally famous record recorded by a honky-tonk pianist named Winifred Atwell. And I found some footage of her playing it, and it's quite amazing. So we're going to check this out. This record was a million they sold a million records, and it was a gold record. And so we're going to start out checking out, oh, where's my window? Her recording of Black and White Rag. So I'm going to share my screen with you. And Black and White, I should say, was originally written in the key of G. We're going to talk about the key thing in a minute. But in the key of G, it's played as a 3-part tune. And so you'll hear her incorporate that other part. I believe she plays it as a B part. So here she is. And check out her left hand doing all these amazing bass runs. Can you hear it? All right. Then she goes into 12th Street Rag, which is another great tune that has also become a well-known fiddle tune. So she was a great honky-tonk pianist. I didn't realize there was so much footage of her on YouTube, but really cool to check out. So then this song was later used as the theme in the BBC's snooker tournament viewed on television. So this tune has gotten a lot of press over the years. Oh, I just saw Baxter's shirt. Nice shirt. Woo! Oh, Louise! Yes! Yay! Okay, so I personally think it's really cool. So many of these fiddle tunes, you can't really trace back their origins. So I love when fiddle tunes are pulled over from other instruments. I love when you can find recordings that go all the way back to 1911. I mean, holy cool. Totally awesome. So let's talk about why keys to fiddle tunes change and how this song came into the fiddle world. We have older recordings of fiddle players like Doc Harris, Benny Thomason, um, Norman Solomon, all of the Texas fiddle players who were really around in their heyday in the 60s and 70s. They all played black and white rag. And I've done a lot of digging to try to figure out how was it transposed into the key of A, which is up a whole step, which Dick Barrett has always played it in the key of A. And I talked to Laura Cash, Johnny Cash's daughter-in-law, and she said, I don't know, when we were growing up, everyone just played it in A. I have no idea why. So a couple of the reasons that fiddle tunes, also Johnny Gimbel recorded this, I should mention, but a couple of reasons that keys got changed in fiddle tunes. Betty Solomon, Norman Solomon's wife, great piano player. I knew her, she was a friend. She just passed away last year. In an interview I did with her, which you guys will get to see at some point, she said that when she first was learning piano, she was learning off of reel-to-reels. And she learned all of the fiddle tunes up a half step, not realizing that the recordings were just spinning fast, and so they were out of tune. And so she had to relearn every song on piano. Can you imagine? She said it lightly, and I'm like thinking about the process. Can you imagine if you had to relearn all of your fiddle tunes in a different key? So this also happens with cassette tapes. You know, they'll deteriorate and get flat. They'll play a little bit sharp. I have a hunch, being up a whole step, that it could have been something like that. But another reason fiddle tunes get transposed to other keys is because back in the day, guys would go out and jam together, and there weren't recording devices. They'd go home after hearing a song and try to work it out and go from memory. You know, Dick Barrett talks about going to a concert and hearing Sweet Georgia, or it was a dance, hearing Sweet Georgia Brown played for the first time. He went in the front row in front of the dancers, sat there and looked at the band and listened as close as he could, and went home and figured it out. So it's a memory thing. Another reason fiddle tunes have changed keys is some fiddlers adapt the tune to fit the fiddle better, just how it lays out fingering wise and bowing wise, or to fit themselves better, or to put together a cool rendition to stick out at a jam session or a fiddle contest. So whichever was the scenario for this song, we may never know. If anyone finds out somewhere along the line, let me know. We're learning it in the key of A, and I've queued up a video of Dick Barrett playing it in the key of A. I love it in this key because, well, it's way more playable. And also it's really fiddly. And what I mean when I say that is when a tune has a lot of open strings, to me it's like, yeah, that's how a fiddle should sound. And so I love this rendition because in the key of G, it's all fingered. And so he may have changed it to suit fiddling better. So hang tight here and we'll pull up Dick Barrett. And this is the version that I've modeled our version off of. Come on. Okay.
I think I'll try to play for my next tune, a tune called Black and White Rag. I vary from the tradition a little bit on this particular tune. Most of the fellows play it in G. I play it in A, the key of A, and here's my version of it.
All right, that was a great session. There are a bunch of songs on that clip on YouTube, so that can be a fun YouTube rabbit hole to go down. All right, let's grab our fiddles and let's get learning this. Get to it in the key of A. First off, intonation, intonation, intonation. This one has some really weird intervals, and so I'm going to show you how to listen for whether you're in tune or not on this, because I don't know any other song that really incorporates these intervals. Once you do them the first time though, you'll totally have it. So I want you to find that D note, compare it to your open D just to really get it, then hold it down, and on the E string, walk up E, F sharp, G sharp. That's a tritone. It was considered the tone of the devil in the Gregorian chant era. So your fingers are going to be close, but every fiddle will vary whether they're on top of each other or there's a little gap, and kind of note like what does that shape feel like on my fiddle. Okay, the other shape you're going to use is a fourth, and so it's the C sharp, walk up from the open A, and you can tune that to your open E, and then you're going to put down the F sharp. Now you'll be able to choose in the song whether you want to play those notes together or separately, depending on how reliable your intonation is on those. Spoiler alert on fourths. I personally avoid them in performance because they're really, really hard to hit in tune. But some people can just nail them. So you can kind of tune into what is real easy for you and go for that. Okay. You'll see where these intervals come in. We're going to start with some pickups. And let me go ahead and play you the first part. Okay, so first phrase. We're going to have both of those intervals in here. So I'm going to break down that first phrase now. The pickups, you can do one of two ways. Here's the first one. Starting on an open E, D sharp, D natural. Two, three, four, 1, 2. Oh, 1, 2. 1, 2. Or you can slide into your fourth finger with the open E. And then the rest is the same. So it'd be so I'm sliding into the fourth finger for the first note. Second note's just the open E. So it's only the first note that differs. 1, 2. 1, 2. And I'm just actually now slowing it down, realizing that you can have too big of a slide there. So I would make it a really small slide. So look at where I'm starting. Look at all that space between my 3 and 4. I'm not coming all the way back here. So just do a small slide. A 1, 2. 1, 2. Great. Okay, now we're going to go right into this tritone. So you have a set of 3 notes. We're going to do that 1, 2, 3. We're going to do it 3 times. So it's going to sound like this. 1, 2, 3. Let's try it together. A 1, 2. 1, 2, 3. Now notice as I do this that I'm going to hold my 3 down as my 2 lifts. So if you feel like the pad of your 3 is hitting the E string, you're going to want to really pull your elbow under or roll up onto the front of your 3rd finger pad, which you might not normally go that far up there, but if this part of your finger is hitting that E string, you may need to. All right, if it's just giving you heck and there's no way to get that E to sound by itself, then you can lift it. But I'd encourage everyone to try to get it planted. Let's try this together. A 1, 2. Good. A 1, 2. then we dip back to the D. Let me find myself. Okay, on this next set of 3 notes, we just did 1, 2, 3. Now, we're going to roll back to the D, then whip. So we're going to go 1, 2, 3, whip. And then instead of going up, we're going to dip down to the 3. So we're going to have D, and then the G sharp. G natural, slide your 2 down, and that's the whole bow. Sounds like Halloween when you pull it out. Okay, so just give that a shot. Up, 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 and then walk it down. And it's nice to do things this slow when you're learning them, to just really, really hear, be able to match your notes to mine and feel where your fingers go. So when you're memorizing songs, you're not just memorizing the notes, but you're also memorizing how it feels in your hand. And so I realized that upon reflecting on memorization, that I really, when I'm learning a song, I really think about how does it feel. So here's what we have so far. Let's give it a shot. 1, 2. Whip, up, up, up. And again, 1, 2. Now, one last thing. I want you to look at how level my elbow is. I'm holding it at an A string height. I'm letting my hand dip down to the E, but I'm not bringing my elbow down. So I'm really being efficient with my motion. So let's try it again with that in mind. 1, 2. Good. You guys are looking good. Let's keep going. Second lick. Again, we're going to do that 3 times. And notice how, to be more efficient, I hold down this C sharp as I roll to the E with my bow. Then it's already there when I come back. Okay, so let's go over the 4th time. So you have 1, 2, 3. So the 4th time is an up bow, whip, up, up. And so you can choose whether you, starting on an up bow, whip, up, up. If that double stops there for you, you can do that. So it's up, whip, up, together. Try it one more time. Up, whip, up, together. And I'm playing the F sharp and the C sharp. Your other option is up, down, up, single note F sharp. Try that. Up, whip, up, F sharp. One more time. Up, whip, up, F sharp. So now it'll actually be easier putting it in context. Let's try it. 2, 3, 4. Good. Again. 3, 4. I have to say, your bows are looking awesome, everybody. Let's go from the beginning, from the start. This is the whole first section. A 1, 2. Whip, up, up, up. Whip, up, up. I'm going to do that 3 more times. 1, 2. A little slower. 1, 2. Again. 1, 2. Level elbow. Yeah. All right, try that once on your own. Good. Any questions before we go on to second section? Paul?
Yeah, Katie, so you're ending, where you ended, it was with an up bow slur then.
Yes.
So last measure is down bow, and then those up bow slur for just 2 notes.
Yes.
Okay, gotcha.
So, yeah, so it's little whip, up, up.
Okay. Okay, got it.
Yes, Louise.
I will just watch your video later. The first part got me. I couldn't get the first part.
Those very
first starting because there's 2 ways to do it, and so I'm confused about what I'm doing. So I will have to wait and see your video.
No, let's clear it up. Let's clear it up because often if you have a question, other people have that same question. So just for now, get this version of the starting on an open E. You're going to play the E twice, then go to a D sharp, back to E. So let's do that much. Ready, go. Just a little neighboring tone. Now you're going to go down to a D natural. And it's wild because it's 4 pickup notes. So the way you'd count yourself in, it'd be 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1. And that's actually kind of where I probably should have started with it because I've never even really thought about that consciously, but it's helpful. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1. Again. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1. And that 1 is where your guitar players come in. And so that's a really nice, valuable thing to have. If you want to go back to the video later to figure out how to put the 4 in, that would be a good trick to get later.
And I have one more, Katie.
Yes, Paul.
And then continuing on that line, where you get to the chromatic run that goes down from the G in that measure. So you're doing a 3-note slur in that?
Yes.
Okay, gotcha. D up to the G and then G, or G sharp to G natural.
Exactly.
Okay.
You get an A, Paul. Any other questions on that first section? Let's play it together, just to put the pieces together, and then I'll play on into the second section. 1 and 2 and. 1, 2, 3. Whip, up, up, up. 1, 2, 3. Oh, sorry. You know what? I was going so slow, I lost myself. Let's do that second half, and then we'll put it together. 1, 2, 3. Up, whip, up, up. Talking and playing, not my specialty. Okay, teaching's as hard as learning, so we're all in this together, you guys. From the top one more time. 1, oh, Jessica. Oh, okay. All right, 1 and 2 and. 1, 2, 3. Whip, up, up, up. 1, 2, 3. Whip, up, up. Now, one additional note is that when you're learning, even if you're playing slowly, especially when you have long bows versus short bows or whips, you're going to want to play all those eighth notes as a shorter stroke, so that when you go to the longer stroke, it shows that it shows itself. And so if you're playing the whip is going to kind of blend in. So you want to try to conserve bow. Not that you want the whip to super stick out, but you want it to be a little bit special. So there's on a side note. All right. Second section. Okay. Dick plays it different. I grew up with a record of Dick playing this song, and so watching that video, there are a couple things he did differently on there. So I'm going to show you several different ways of playing this middle break. So basically the guitar players are playing, and then they break. Then they come back in. So that's part of the fun of the song. So they break on an A chord. We'll back up in a second, but let's get this break. It's on an A chord, so you're gonna go, we're gonna do a whip there because we have a 3-note slur coming up. So start with your 4th finger. Then, that's all up, up, up. So we have 3, 4. Now, In the improv class, I was talking about blocking today, and the concept of blocking, that particular term I first heard from a Texas style fiddle player named Major Franklin. And it's when you have two of the same finger on, and mostly he talks about it with ones and threes on adjacent strings. So we're about to do 1 high 3 on G, 1 high 3 on D. We love patterns. So your second two notes there are E to G sharp. Let's try that. 3, 4. And again, 3, 4. Yeah, one last time. 3, 4. Then he walks up the A major scale. A, B, C sharp, E. So now putting that together. Now we have a scale coming down. Yes, it is as easy as it seems. All right. It's putting it together. That's a little trickier. So here we go. Starting on the 4, 3, 4. Whip, up, up, up. Block, scale. Scale coming down. Again, go, and. Yeah, again, go, and. Again, go, and. This is one of those spots where you really want to take advantage of those single bows. And I hesitate to say this, but every single person I've ever worked on this song with, I've had this feedback. And even when I hear recordings of myself, it's my own feedback to myself. When you have this break, I want you to get excited and rush. Because what we tend to do as fiddle players on breaks is slow down. So actually, if you really add that excitement and use your single bows to propel you forward, it'll be a good thing. So someone might prove me wrong. I may say in the coaching, like, oh, you rushed that too much. And just know if I have to say that, what a supreme compliment that will actually be. So let's try this a couple more times because we want this to be our most solid section. That's why I wanted to circle to it while we were still a little fresh. Starting on the 4, 3, 4, and up, 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 single scale. Really drive it. Yeah. One more time. My fault. One more time for me. Okay, let's do it a couple more times just to get all those thumbs up. 1, 2, ready, go, and. You all look great. All right, we're gonna go on. So, before that, this is very rad like, where we have a little syncopation in there, you know, like that little short, long, short, long, short, long. So we're going to do a roll on a long down bow up from the open A to the 3, the D note. And that D is your beat, so you give it a little accent. And then you're going to do a pretty fast up on that 2. So we have roll. And there is, hear how there's a gap right there? There's a rest. And then we continue. Now, never realized this, but this is too cool. You're going to do a big scale down. Check this out. From E, 4th finger, to E. So let's try that, starting on a 4th finger on an up bow. Here we go. Now. Wow. I mean, I've played this song for 30 years and I never realized that. So the cool tricks you pick up. All right, let's go from the roll. Rest. 2, 3, 4, 1, and 2, and 3, and 1, and 2, and 3. 1, 2. Yeah, okay. So, putting the pieces together from the beginning. Oh, no, wait, hold on. Oh, we have 4 more notes before we put it together. After we did this big scale going down, we're going to walk it up. So our last 4 notes will be E, F sharp, G sharp, E. And then we go to our 4 to play you know what. Okay, so let's try this transition from these 4 notes. Let's just do that little spot. 3 and 4 and. Yeah, and again. One more time. Okay, now let's go from the roll up. Just to get through that transition. 1, 2, 3. All right, this time we'll continue through the break. 1, 2, 3. right. Do we have any questions on the second section? Louise.
Okay. So that part you said, we were going along, and then you said, okay, before that. So, I mean, was that not in order, or what do you mean, okay, before that? I mean, so now I'm confused about where the heck we are. Where are we? Okay.
We'll do that in a second. But I'll show the whole thing here in a second. But I showed you guys this break before I showed you this, because I knew how fresh your minds were, and I wanted you to get that break and feel really good about it, because it's so important. So we circled back and we got the whole second section. So I'm aware that was a little confusing. Any other second section questions? Okay, I'm going to play you first and second section, and then we'll do it together. So here's the segue answer to Louise's question. All right. Whew. Let's give it a shot. Here we go. You guys got this. I'm going to start just with the opening. 1 and 2 and. Here's the roll. Again, 1 and 2 and. One more time, just in case. I never know if there are any weird internet glitches or anything, so I always want to be sure I catch everybody. So we're going to do it one more time for safety. All right, I'm going to start on the 4 this time. 1 and 2 and. 1, 2, 3, and whip up, up, up. 1, 2, 3, and whip up, up. Roll. Scale. 4 notes. Break. Up, up, up. Block. Scale. Scale down. So when I'm saying these kind of coaching things on what I might be thinking about, whether it's a scale or 1, 2, 3 repetitions, this is kind of my inner dialogue that I have going to help me memorize the song. Does having, has anyone experienced the inner dialogue helping their memorization over time?
Certainly having listened to it over and over kind of internalizes it for me, for sure. And that helps with that.
Yeah. Yeah, listening to it can be another way that helps you really internalize it. Having an inner dialogue with the patterns you're playing can really, really help. And again, that can just take repetition. Breaking it down the way that we're breaking it down is how you want to practice it. Maybe like the first day, you just focus on the first section. And then the next day, you can put in the next section. Everyone's going to be a little different with how they put together their learning. But I want to, in this moment, give you permission to kind of figure out how that way, start tuning into what might work for me. And when I teach all of you who I work with here privately, when I teach you, I use the inner dialogue and I see it work for you every time. So keep that in mind. I might not mention it, but many people who may think they're not good at memorizing find their own inner dialogue and can really surprise themselves. So if you haven't found quite the dialogue that works for you, see if maybe putting the dialogue in your own words makes a difference. So a couple tips for memorizing. How you guys doing? All right, third section is same as the first. So you're almost done with this whole first part. So listen from the beginning. Into the roll up. I don't know about you, I'm always relieved when something repeats itself. So let's go from the top and now do first, second, and third section. And when we come out of that walk or break, you're just going to walk all the way down the scale to the 3. And you're going to launch right back into that pattern. So that transition will feel like this. Let's just try that before we put it all together. Scale down, 3, 4, and. Yeah, again, and. Yeah, and you know, Eric, I'm reflecting on what you said. If there is any shortcut to learning the fiddle, it's always listening. That's just literally the best thing ever. So thanks for adding that. Okay, let's go to the start. I'm going to start with the opening. 1 and 2 and. Roll out my shoulders really quick. Anyone else need to shake it out? Whew. Let's do it again. Here we go. I'm going to start with the 4 this time. 1 and 2 and. yes, yes. One more time, a little faster. 1 and 2 and. So this is the same ending as Winifred Atwell used. So we do a roll up and pop up to that F sharp. And then you're going to stop your bow. And the open E comes in the other half of that up. 1, 2, roll. Then we walk it down. Now, when I arrive to that 1, I'm going to place it on to both strings. And often when I do that, I roll onto the, let me get in the camera here. I might normally put my 1 down here, but I'll roll onto the back of the pad to be sure that I can hit both strings. So if you have to flatten your finger a little bit, that's okay. Some of you lucky people with big finger pads, no one ever talks about how awesome it is to have big finger pads, but if you have a big finger pad, you'll be able to just go down right on your tip. So we're gonna roll up. And right there, my 1 is on both strings, and I'm only gonna move my bow. Yeah, and then we stop our bow. Same move, going to the open E on the other half of that up. Okay, so putting it together, we roll. This time we don't walk down. We actually skip. So it's, which I think this move is very cute. All right, from the roll, 2, 3. Now, ready to go on? Let's do that one more time. 1, 2, roll. We're going to add that C sharp. Here we go. Rolling, 2, 3. Now we're going to add an A. Rolling, 1, 2, 3. I love that because it's odd fingers, even fingers. All right, from the roll, 2, 3. Now from there, we're going to walk back up. So it's like A, B, C sharp. From the roll, 2, 3. lost myself. Oh, okay, so we have another stop our bow and then continue up. That's going to be from the C sharp to the A and up, up. So watch where that comes in. All right, so let's try that from the roll. 2, 3. So now we have a triplet on a down bow and then an open A. And that A we call safe. So let's try just that section. 2, 3, 4. 2, 3, 4. So that whole fourth section from the roll. All right, I need Baxter to lead us in some intermission stretches. Oof. Went to one of Baxter's yoga classes and it was awesome. Yoga for a healthy back. I highly recommend it. BaxterBell.com. Check it out. Clearly I need more of that. Who doesn't? As fiddlers, you guys do stretching every day? Really, really good. Do some stretching. At the very least, I'm going to show you something that was once showed to me when I was a kid. And this is super easy. Anyone can do it. Shake out your hands. Shake out your forearms. And shake out your full arms. That's just a real easy, basic shake out. All right. Whole part. Are we ready? Maybe that's your next class, Baxter. Yoga for fiddlers. Hint, hint. Nudge, nudge. Okay. Whole part. I'm going to play it once through. You can listen or join me, and then we're just going to loop it. So I just want to encourage everyone to plant both your feet flat on the ground, straighten your spine, and follow it up from your lower back. Be sure that you lean forward, lean back, and sit directly over your sit bones, and be sure that your spine is straight all the way up. We're going to play this through a bunch of times. So here we go. At least that'll be our A, that low A. Okay, cool, very, very cool. Now, I'm gonna show you a couple different variations for the break because the form of this song, whenever you play the A part, you'll play it twice, except for if it's the ending. So you can go A, B, B, A. That's the version I'll teach in class. But if you're jamming and you're having lots of fun, I'll end up showing you next class another slight variation through the tune, so you can have that option to go through it again if you're just really in the groove at your jam. So we're on an A, and the way that I grew up hearing Dick play this was all the same, except for instead of blocking, he went. So if you figured it out already off of the recording that I sent you, you might already know this. We walk down, same bowing, and then right here he walks up. And then jumps to an open A. Okay, so that's one option. So that would sound like. All right, then let's learn what Winifred Owl did. Johnny Gamble also did this. So this is a whip bow on a 4. Whip, and then you're going to do a neighboring tone. So neighboring tone is where we go a half step. In this case, it's a half step down neighboring tone. There are lots of different kinds, but this is you. Here's your neighbor, then you come back to you. So it's whip, up, up, hitting that G sharp. Down, up, then go to a C sharp, going up the A major arpeggio. Now we go to that neighboring tone, but instead of scooting the 2 down, we're going to pull the 1 up so we keep it clean. Because I want to imagine I'm imitating a piano player here, so every note will be really clean. So if we put those together. And then here you have 2 different options. You can do the 4 again, or an open. Whichever one's easier. Here's what I would do. 4, 4, 3, open. I would want to get myself to that E string with my bow so that as I come up here for the walk down, I'm ready. So that can also be played with an open A. That would be totally acceptable. One more time. So if you're putting that in, oh, let's do it one more time. I just saw a couple of people grab their fiddles. Starting from the A, 3, 4. So main thing there is just to catch the lower note, you know what it is. So it's A to G sharp, and then it's C sharp, and then my 1 is scooted out of its position up right behind my 2. And then it's E to the high 3, and then the walk down. So with that knowledge, you'll be able to put that together. So that would sound like this. super fun because you're really going for it on this break. Now, another really famous one is the arpeggio. You can decide how you use fours versus opens here. I would start, that would be a hard jump going from the A to the C sharp, but if it's easier for you and you can do it cleanly, more power to you. For most people, going from 4 to that C sharp will be easier. So our notes in the A major arpeggio are A, C sharp, and E. We're only going to use those 3 notes, and we're going to start above, dip down, then to the open, start above, dip down. Now you can go to open or 4. And it's nice because at the end we have an entire A major arpeggio. Let's try that again slowly. So in context, that would sound like this. So that's super fun. So that gives you 4 different breaks. And I would say, really, you can put any of them anywhere. So this can be your own artistic decision, whether you want to do exactly what I'm doing, which is I try to give you good models. So that's always good. I encourage people to copy. I encourage people to steal like an artist. And has anyone checked out that book, Steal Like an Artist? It's a great book. It's written in comic book format, and it's about the benefit of copying people, which I've done. I've totally copied this song. So none of this is original on my part, but on those breaks, you can copy what I do. You can mix them up. My advice to you though is for your for the 3rd webinar where everyone's playing their version, make a clear-cut decision of which one you're going to put in each place and practice it in that order all the time so that when you get in the moment, you don't have a moment of like, oh, which one should I do here? You know, once you have the song under your belt and you've played it for 6 or 8 months, you'll gain more flexibility to where it'll be easier to jump in and out of any of those breaks. But at first, I always recommend just memorize exactly which one you're going to put in what place. So let's play through this A part. Oh, Louise.
So when you say the break, this is an A, B, B. So where is the break going?
The break is always in the A part. And you can't really tell because there's no guitar player playing with me. But actually, let me pull up the guitar part so that you can hear where the break is. There it is. Okay. Connected to my, and I'm gonna make another guitar part tonight that's a little bit slower for you guys. Okay, connect.
Black and white rag. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2.
Hold on, there's a fiddle on that one. I don't want to play with, I only want to play with one version of myself. All right.
Black and white rag. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2.
video stopped. Let me do it again. That was so random. All right.
Black and white rag. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2.
That was the break. Yeah, and there's one cool variation that I almost got in there that I was going to play for you guys in the B part. So we might sneak in some hokum bowing in there. The double stops are easy. They're with open strings, so we'll do those next time. Your assignment for the week is to prepare this first A part, and I'll send you a video of me playing it, as well as a slower guitar part and the sheet music. So, how we doing? Yeah, boo! Thank you, Baxter! Thank you for the thumbs down. I've never been so happy for a thumbs down.
It's going to be way too tempting. That's why I don't want to look at it. It's too tempting.
That's so, thank you. Thank you for being a model student. If you can't resist temptation, sheet music will be in your email box.
So all of these have been A parts and then the variations that we've done today, right, Katie?
Yes, we'll do the B part next week.
Okay, gotcha.
And I see that SUSUMU has already learned the whole thing. And so SUSUMU's working on now polishing and getting everything sounding exactly how he wants. And he came into the class with an A+. What can I say? Set the bar high. So good work over there, SUSUMU. Sorry to single you out. You guys are looking great. Everyone, nice positioning, nice bowing. I'm sure your intonation sounds killer. And be patient with yourself as you're working on this. Just remember to relax. It's a rag. It's fun. Tempo is not a thing. Karen.
Oh, so can you tell us next week the principles of making it sound like a rag?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes, thank you for bringing that up.
Okay.
Anybody else have anything they want to say before we knock off for the evening?
Thank you, Katie. We've had our own marathon today.
I don't know how, I mean, I knew these were both going to fall on the same day. It just happened. And I don't know if you'll ever know how grateful I am for you guys hanging on with me.
Thanks, Katie.
So what's the next date for our class?
Our next class is a week from today on October 8th.
Okay.
It'll be the same link, but I'll send you it the day of as well, so you don't have to search through it now.
Great.
Okay.
Great job, Paul. Great job, Peggy, Jean, Jessica, Louise, Baxter, Susumu, and Karen.
Yeah.
Ingrid
Thank you.
stand out, and Eric.
Thank you.
Great job, everybody.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you. Happy
Bye.
fiddling.